Okay, welcome back to another Mario Kart World video. In this one, I am going to be using a random wheel, as you can see, to pick out what character and kart combination I will be using. So, first of all, I get a 4 here, which decides which page of the character select screen I am choosing from. Then I get a 9, which chooses which character, a 2 to decide which page of the vehicles I get, and a 9 to finish off. So 4, 9, 2, 9. And you can see on the screen there the different numbers. So, I get Rosalina Touring, and I get the page 2, number 9, and that is the Dread Sled. So, this is the first race that I do. I will be doing 2 races in each individual vehicle and character combination. So, on this one, I will say the recording sort of messed up on this first race, to my knowledge, so you don't get to see much of this first race. I don't think that's such a bad thing. I don't think it was a particularly good race anyway. But also, I won't be showing a lot of these races because I realise, for the most part, from what I can remember, I don't do particularly well, and therefore I've kind of just cut out a lot of it. But anyway, you can see here that this is towards the end of Wario's Galleon, and I am in 9th, but it's pretty chaotic. There's a lot going on, and I don't really have the items to be able to keep up at the end here. So we take that little jump at the end, and I come home for an 8th place, which, to be honest, on a vehicle which I'll say now I didn't particularly enjoy using, I don't think that was too bad, to be honest. So we'll move into the second race, which is on Faraway Oasis. And yeah, we'll see how this one goes. Again, I will be cutting a large part of this out because I want to fit in 6 races, and so I don't want to show the full thing. They can get pretty boring. So, yeah, this was how I started. Again, pretty badly. But here we go, though. We cut to the final lap here, where I'm in 9th, and I get a mushroom, I get the boomerang, which is pretty frustrating. I've said several times I'm not a big fan of the boomerang. It just sort of stays a bit too long, and as you can see, I have like no control with this vehicle and I guess character combination, but I don't think the character plays a big role here. I think the kart itself is the problem here, and yeah, I come home for 14th, which, yeah, is not great. So, in conclusion, that character kart combination was bad. I did not enjoy using it. It was pretty bad for control. So, on to the next one. We get a 7 for the character select page. We get an 8 for the character itself. We get a 4. And we get a 2. So, let's see what that will be. So, we go to page number 7. And that is Toadette's Explorer outfit. And the kart is the Big Horn. So, we cut to this first race, which is Great Block Ruins. And as you can see, I'm in 15th going into the final part of this race, which isn't great, but a bullet bill and a star will make a big difference here. And we'll see how I end up doing. 17th now as well, which isn't particularly great. I'll say now, in terms of in comparison to the Dread Sled, I think it's called, that I had before this, I much preferred this vehicle. It was a lot more familiar to what I normally use, which is, of course, the Baby Blooper. You can see here that that bullet bill immediately propels me up into 2nd place, and I get the star as well, which maybe I shouldn't have used then and there, but it is what it is. And so I go for the shortcut here, which I managed to actually pull off, sort of. It's not the best variation of that shortcut, but it works. However, I'm in 3rd now. And we come to the final bit, where you will soon see that, yeah, a blue shell ends up coming, which I don't know why, but I kind of thought it was, you know, not coming for me, and I thought it was coming for someone else. So I tried to go to the side to pull out of its way. How it turned out it was always going to hit me, so I think it was 4th place it said there. Not great, but not bad. On this next one, we are on Sky High Sunday, and I missed the start, which pretty much just puts me on the back foot the whole race. To be honest, I don't blame the result I end up getting here on the Big Horn, or, you know, the character kart combination I end up getting. to be honest, I was just on the back foot the whole race because I had a bad start, and that was my own fault. But, we'll see how I end up finishing here. As you can see, though, I get 3 mushrooms at the end, but pretty much everyone has got, like, some sort of mushrooms or something like that at the end. So, 15th, not great. But, to be honest, my overall thoughts on that combination was that it was okay. You know, it was perfectly fine. On to the final combination, which I get an 8, a 3, and a 3. Yeah. So, what will that end up being? Well, as you can see, I don't get the full carrot select screen, so I have to pick Charging Chuck as the character. And then going to page number 3 of the cart select screen, you can see that it is also the big horn again. So instead, I go for the third vehicle in the third row, because that's the only thing I can think of, and that is the Locomoto. So, Charging Chuck on the Locomoto, which technically isn't what the randomizer chose, but I realized this was a flawed concept. I haven't unlocked every single character, so I had to sort of improvise there. And I guess the cart select screen, or vehicle select screen, you kind of don't get as many as I thought, so it didn't particularly work how I was hoping, but it is what it is. So, this is of course on Moo Moo Meadows. So let's see how I do. I don't know if I actually end up cutting here. I think I might just have the full of Moo Moo Meadows, which is cool. So, in terms of my thoughts on, like, because I guess I'll be showing a bit more of this race, so I have a bit more time to yap. My thoughts on that first combination of Rosalina and the Dread Sled. I did not enjoy using it. I didn't feel like I had much control over anything. And I wouldn't recommend using that. But, you know, you do you. In terms of on the second one, which was the one that you just saw with Toadette and the Big Horn, I didn't mind that. I thought it was fine for what it was. Maybe not perfect, but it was fine. It sort of worked. And you will sort of see now with Charging Chuck and the Locomoto, not Charging Chuck in the Charging Truck, which is highly disappointing. But I would say it felt okay, and that is about where I'd leave it. It just felt okay. Like, Charging Chuck is huge, like probably the biggest character in the game. I don't know that for sure, but he is absolutely massive. And to be honest, this bike it didn't feel great, but it didn't feel awful. It just it was just a bike, and that is to say that bikes in this game aren't particularly great, to be honest. I found personally. Maybe there's people who do like the bikes in the game. I'm just not a huge fan. So anyway, as you could see there though, in this race, I got very lucky with the star there and dodged the shock, which meant that I'm in a pretty decent position going into the end here, but I unfortunately got a block there, or some coin block there at the end, which meant that I will finish this race in a pretty average 8th place. But to be honest, again, it didn't feel bad. It was okay for what it was, this bike. So we go on to Shy Guy Bazaar for the final race of this video. And yeah, again, I think this is where... I mean, I can't remember exactly how I did in this race, and so therefore, I guess this isn't really a spoiler. I just sort of vaguely remember that this vehicle doesn't feel particularly great for something which is kind of as tight and as, I would say, windy, or like, maybe not windy, but just as tight and needing to navigate as much as you do in Shy Guy Bazaar. It's not great for that, this bike, but it's not awful. Again, like I say. And the reason I say that is because, as you can see, at the very end here, I get a bullet bill and get pretty lucky, 3 mushrooms, to finish in 5th place, which makes it the best in this video. So yeah, bye.